After meetings with US President Donald Trump and key politicians from his administration, Karol Nawrocki spoke to representatives of the Polish-American community. The 3rd of May parade in Chicago, the largest foreign celebration of the 3rd of May Constitution Day, has been held continuously since 1892 in the largest Polish-American community in the world. We preserve Polish culture primarily here in Chicago. Our parents raised us in a Polish way, and we want to continue Polish traditions here in America. This year, Polish Citizens presidential candidate Karol Nawrocki met parade participants. These meetings with the Polish community, the wonderful Polish community that cherishes the care of historical memory, also shows what a beautiful value, what a beautiful cause Poland is, and in Poland and so far from the borders of Poland. The Polish-American community received Karol Nawrocki extremely warmly. There was no shortage of handshakes and commemorative photos. That's why, with his visit and his run in the upcoming elections, many Poles living overseas have high hopes. America has always been our ally, and hopefully we will vote for the right-wing candidates who are closer, because he doesn't want to point to one candidate, but who are closer to Polish-American relations and to EU relations, which, unfortunately, are what they are. So definitely most people will vote for Karol Nawrocki, as far as I know. It is very important that the future president of Poland continue this work, because today the only guarantor of Polish-American relations is President Andrzej Duda. So we today face an election whether these relations written also in this memorial will continue, and whether Poland with the United States will build a strong North Atlantic alliance and our beautiful future. That's why there was tremendous interest in the presence of the presidential candidate at this important event for the Polish community. But there was also a group of his opponents. There were only a handful of them, some carrying a banner with the vulgar slogan of 8 asterisks. The left-liberal media took advantage of the presence of opponents of the Citizens' presidential candidate Karol Nawrocki to attack him. It was loud, there was confusion, just such use of a charity event for a political rally. And I didn't like it very much. I don't belong to any organizations. I don't want to make political statements. I just want to say that it was, in my opinion, very rude. This is a supposedly non-political comment on Karol Nawrocki's participation in a charity breakfast held before the main festivities. However, as it turned out, the author of these words is known for her political activism. She supported Rafał Trzaskowski 5 years ago and Adam Bodnar 2 years ago. She took photos as Lech Wałęsa and sat on the election committee in Chicago, reported by the Civic Coalition's election committee. Now, guess why Paweł Zuchowski didn't ask Mrs. Almodovar about her political involvement and that her statements most likely stem from the fact that she supports Trzaskowski? Free media, free jokes. And this is an excerpt from the programme Polish Flowers on illegal Polish television in liquidation, and the mockery of the presenters of the meeting between Karol Nawrocki and US President Donald Trump.
I robimy tak. Może teraz tutaj? Uwaga. I jeszcze dla Państwa specjalnie.
Oh yes, very funny.
Boją się tego.
They're afraid of this White House meeting. They know that Poles respect this Polish-American alliance, and Karol has an open door to the White House. There were flocks of media and journalists tasked to say that it was in fact ridiculous. It meant nothing, and it is not at all clear what was accomplished here. At the end, out of desperation, they have even gone so far as to say that it was an embarrassment because he met Trump. So much so that in fact Donald Tusk and Radosław Sikorski would very much like to meet Trump, because after all, other politicians like French President Emmanuel Macron and UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer are meeting him, and they cared a lot about it. 6 months ago, the votes of the Polish-American community were successfully sought by Donald Trump, who, thanks in part to the votes of Poles living overseas, was elected President of the United States. Now the same people will help to determine who wins the elections in Poland. These are thousands of people. Most of them are adults who read Polish newspapers. Through the internet, we have such opportunities. We read, we watch what's going on in real time, and all of them are actually going to vote. Most of them already have their candidate. We will vote, of course, for Mr. Karol Nawrocki. Why did this candidate convince you? Beautiful behavior, a beautiful way of expressing himself about Poland. the most beautiful view. During his visit to the United States, Karol Nawrocki met not only the Polish-American community, but also the most important person in the United States, the host of the White House, Donald Trump.
President
Trump said, "You will win." I read it as a kind of wishing me success in the upcoming elections. Karol Nawrocki's visit to the White House lasted 7 hours. During that time, he also met key politicians, Secretary of State Mark Rubio, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, Robert Kennedy Jr., who is in charge of the Department of Health and Human Services, House of Representatives Speaker Mike Johnson, Jim Jordan, who chairs the House of Representatives Judiciary Committee, Domestic Policy Council Director Vince Haley, and Susie Wiles, White House Chief of Staff.
Dziękuję serdecznie, dziękuję.